They said it was a blessing. That was the first lie. The morning sun rose slowly over the village of Omakwa, touching red earth and zinc roofs. Birds cried freely in the trees. Men moved with purpose. Women swept compounds. Life looked normal, peaceful. Inside Kelechi's chest, nothing was peaceful. He stood in his father's compound, wearing a new wrapper that felt tight around his waist. Not because it was small, but because it marked him. Today, he would become a husband. Not because he loved, but because he owed. Kelechi was 29, a quiet man, a carpenter, strong hands, soft eyes, the kind of man people liked to control. His mother adjusted his collar. "Stand straight," she said. "You are a married man today." Her voice carried pride. His carried nothing. Across the compound, elders sat on wooden chairs like judges. Calabashes of palm wine rested at their feet. Money lay on a white cloth. Bride price. Neat, counted, final. Each note was a nail. Kelechi remembered when it started. 3 years earlier, his father fell sick. Hospital bills piled up. His workshop stopped producing. Debt came like rain. One night, his uncle spoke. "There is a way," the old man said. "Ngozi's family has been watching you. They have land, influence. They will help." Help meant marriage. Ngozi was not ugly. She was not cruel. She was simply not his choice. But choice was a luxury men like Kelechi were not allowed. He protested once. "I am not ready." His father coughed blood that night. After that, nobody listened to him again. Now the drums started beating. Women ululated. Men laughed. Children ran around. Kelechi felt like an animal being decorated before slaughter. Ngozi emerged from her father's house, wrapped in coral beads and red cloth. Her face was calm, too calm. Their eyes met for a second. There was no love there, only agreement. The priest spoke, words about duty, honor, legacy. No one mentioned happiness. When Kelechi was told to kneel, his knees hit the ground hard. Dust rose, his chest tightened. A thought crossed his mind. This is how cages are built. Slow, public, celebrated. That night, the marriage was sealed. The room smelt of incense and sweat. A single lamp flickered. Ngozi sat on the bed, quiet. Kelechi stood near the door. Silence pressed them together. "You can sit," she said finally. He did. They did not touch. Outside, people laughed and drank. Inside, 2 strangers were locked into one life. Later, when the lamp went out, darkness swallowed the room. Kelechi stared at the ceiling. His freedom died quietly. Marriage did not change Kelechi's house. It changed his breathing. Every morning, he woke up before the sun, not because he wanted to work, but because lying beside Ngozi made his chest tight. The bed felt smaller, the air heavier. She slept facing the wall, so did he. They moved around each other like people sharing a prison cell, careful not to touch, careful not to speak too much. The village called it peace. Peace was another lie. Ngozi learned quickly how a wife should behave. She woke early, she cooked, she cleaned, she smiled in public. Elders praised her. "She is a good woman," they said. "You are lucky," they told Kelechi. Lucky men do not feel trapped. At night, Ngozi would turn toward him. It was never soft, it was never warm. It was expected. "You are my husband," she would say quietly, not as desire, as reminder. Kelechi did his duty. He hated himself after. Each time he touched her, something inside him shrank, not because she was bad, but because love was missing and everyone pretended it did not matter. Weeks passed, then months. Pressure arrived wearing smiles. "When will we hear good news?" his mother asked one morning, pounding a goosey. "Don't waste time," his uncle added. "A man must plant his seed early." Ngozi heard everything. That night, she spoke. "They are waiting. A child will settle things." Settle what? A lie with another lie? Kelechi said nothing. Inside him, resentment grew like mold, quiet, poisonous. Money became another chain. Ngozi's family began to interfere. "Why is your workshop still small?" her father asked. "You married into opportunity," an uncle said. "Use it." They offered loans with conditions, advice with insults, help with control. Every gift came with a rope. When Kelechi stayed late at work one evening, Ngozi confronted him. "You are avoiding me." He wanted to scream. Instead, he said, "I am tired." She laughed, short and cold. Tired of what? Being a husband? That night, words became weapons. "You agreed to this," she said. "So did you," he replied. Silence followed, then tears, then distance. Marriage did not make them one. It split them into enemies sharing one roof. The first slap came on a quiet afternoon. Ngozi accused him of wasting money. He accused her of spying for her family. Her words cut deep. "You are weak," she said. "That is why they control you." Something snapped. His hand moved before his mind could stop it. The sound echoed. Ngozi fell silent, shocked more than hurt. Kelechi stepped back, horrified. He had crossed a line he swore he never would. That night, he did not sleep. The next day, Ngozi told no one, but something changed in her eyes. Respect died. Fear was born. From that day, the marriage became a battlefield. Not loud, not dramatic, cold. Meals were served without words. Beds were shared without touch. Smiles were reserved for outsiders. One evening, Kelechi met an old friend in town. "You don't look well," the man said. Kelechi almost laughed. "How do you explain a cage people clap for?" At home, Ngozi sat alone staring at the wall. She was pregnant. She did not tell him, not yet, because children are not born from love alone. Sometimes they are born as anchors. Ngozi told him on a Sunday morning. They were eating in silence when she placed the test on the table. "I am pregnant." The words landed like a stone. Kelechi stared at it. 2 lines. Clear. Final. The room felt smaller. His first feeling was not joy. It was fear. Fear wrapped itself around his chest and squeezed. A child meant permanence. A child meant no escape. The village exploded with happiness. Drums returned. Palm wine flowed again. Elders smiled like they had won a battle. "A son will straighten a man," his uncle said. "A child will calm this house," his mother added. No one mentioned if the house was already broken. Ngozi changed. She became louder, sharper. Pregnancy gave her power. The village watched her now, protected her, listened to her. "You must come home early," she said. "You must give more money," she said. "You must behave," she said. Every sentence started with must. Kelechi obeyed, not because he agreed, but because resistance had consequences. When he stayed out late one evening, Ngozi reported him. His mother called him weak. His father said nothing, but disappointment was louder than words. The child kicked inside her womb. Each kick felt like a lock clicking shut. One night, Kelechi sat alone in his workshop long after everyone left. The smell of wood and dust calmed him. For a moment, he imagined leaving, walking away, starting again somewhere nobody knew his name. Then he imagined the shame. A man who abandoned his pregnant wife? A coward? A disgrace? In this village, shame was stronger than prison bars. Ngozi went into labor during the rainy season. Thunder shook the sky as women rushed her to the clinic. Kelechi followed, numb. Hours passed, then a cry. "It's a boy." The words sealed his fate. When they placed the child in his arms, something unexpected happened. He felt love, pure, sharp, dangerous. For a moment, he believed, maybe this will fix it. That belief died quickly. Ngozi used the child like a shield. Don't shout, the baby is sleeping. Don't argue, you will disturb the child. Endure it, think of your son. Endurance became his daily bread. Sleep disappeared. Money vanished. Joy followed. Ngozi's family moved closer. Advice became commands. You must build a bigger house. You must stop wasting time on useless work. You must think like a man now. Kelechi worked until his hands cracked. Still, it was never enough. One night, after a long argument about money, Ngozi pushed him. You are nothing without this family. Nothing. The slap returned, harder this time. Not angry, calculated. The baby cried. Kelechi froze. In that moment, he understood something terrible. The violence would not stop. It would spread. One night, while holding his son, Kelechi whispered an apology. I am sorry, he said. I brought you into a cage. The child slept peacefully. Outside, rain fell. Chains do not always look like chains. Sometimes they look like family. Kelechi learned a new skill, endurance. Not the proud kind men talk about, the quiet kind that kills slowly. Years passed. His son grew from crawling to walking, from crying to talking. The boy laughed easily, trusted deeply, called him Papa with pure joy. That was the problem. Love became the strongest chain. Ngozi ruled the house now, not loudly, not violently. Cold control was her weapon. She decided when he slept, what he ate, how money was spent, who he spoke to. When he resisted, she reminded him. The child needs stability. Stability meant silence. Kelechi stopped arguing, stopped dreaming, stopped hoping. His workshop collapsed slowly. Fewer customers, old tools, no energy. Men who once respected him now pitied him. A man without authority in his own house is invisible. At night, he lay awake listening to Ngozi breathe, listening to his son sleep, listening to his own thoughts rot. One evening, an old friend returned to the village, rich, confident, free. You can still leave, the man whispered when they drank together. Not every prison has locked doors. Kelechi laughed. You don't leave with a child behind. The friend shook his head. Sometimes staying does more damage. That night, Kelechi stood at the doorway watching his son sleep. The boy smiled in dreams. Something broke. He understood the truth too late. Children learn love by watching. Children learn marriage by watching. He was teaching his son how to disappear. Ngozi sensed the change. You have become useless, she said one evening, packing his clothes for him. If you cannot be strong, don't pretend. For the first time in years, Kelechi did not react. He packed quietly. At dawn, he knelt beside his son. I love you, he whispered. More than this village, more than fear. The boy slept. Kelechi walked out with nothing but a small bag. No drums, no elders, no blessings, just dust. The village spoke for weeks. Coward, heartless, a man who ran from responsibility. Ngozi remarried quickly. Another man took the house, the role, the authority. Kelechi disappeared into the city. Years later, he heard news. His son was doing well, strong, intelligent. He never went back. Because freedom sometimes costs the right to be remembered as good. Kelechi became something else. Not a hero, not a villain, just a man who chose to breathe. Marriage without love is not tradition. It is inheritance of pain. Men are not always free because they are strong. Sometimes they are trapped because they endure too long. If you love this story like this, like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment for more story like this.